obviously we're discussing the resume of Steven Spielberg, and we're just naming just a few films and realizing that because his resume is so diverse and full of so many great films, other great films to me don't even make that list. So, for instance, when you just start adding up Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, E.T., Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List, you get to 10 movies, War Horse, Lincoln, you start to get to 10 movies that are high caliber, highly recognized, highly honored films, and you start to overlook how many other films he's done and how good they are. So I thought it'd be an interesting topic of discussion to see what Mike's take was, because he's a huge Spielberg guy like I am. On what do you think are some of the ones that you think are now sort of underrated?
Well, people have always poked fun at 1941, and I love 1941. I think it's looked upon because it wasn't Jaws and it wasn't Close Encounters, but it wasn't a failure. It made money and it was funny, and there were a lot of not problems, but a lot of everybody in Hollywood wanted to be a part of this movie. And I remember when I interviewed Nancy Allen and we talked about it, and she said that people would just show up and say, "Boy, can I do this? Can I do that?" And it kept growing and growing into this, giant, a million feet of film was shot for this movie. But I think it holds up now. I think it's one of John Williams' best scores, and I think that's of the films he's done, I think it's probably the most underappreciated.
I'll give you that a little bit. I do think that it definitely gets a bad rap for being a bad film. I don't think it's a bad film. For me, I'm going to put a couple out there first before I get to the one I think is the most underrated. I think Empire of the Sun is a great film, and it just completely is overshadowed. The Color Purple as well, I think, doesn't get historic recognition. And people think they respect this film, and it got a lot of recognized when it came out, but now it's sort of overlooked. Same with Amistad, I think, as well. To me, and you're gonna probably be shocked by my answer here, Mike, I think the most underrated Spielberg film is probably Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because it's been pushed so far down the list. If it was almost any other director, this would be his number one film of all time. But because it's Spielberg, it becomes like the 9th or 10th at best. And many times people just kind of forget about it altogether because it came between Jaws and Raiders. You agree?
Oh, I do agree. It's Close Encounters is a masterpiece. I know a bunch of us. We went opening night at the Hillsborough Theater over there in Tampa, and it was. I know. It was so. It's such a great experience, and I remember it's the only time. Well, it's happened a couple of times since, but at the very end, when the mothership takes off, and there's just silence. And then, directed by Steven Spielberg, came up on the screen. That's the first time I'd ever been in a movie theater where the entire audience just exploded in applause. It's one of my favorite films of his and one of my favorite movie-going experiences.
Well, I think it's a great topic of discussion, and I'm glad we were able to carve out some time for doing that, Mike. I appreciate your time as well and insight. FocusMediaMikes.com. There's so many great things on their website, so many great reviews, Blu-ray reviews and interviews, some different reviews and movies that are coming up. They have a new film called Enough Said that came out this week. You can get that review as well. As far as Mike's take on Thor, The Dark World is on there. And just a great interview. I think you guys had a chance to, I don't know which of you spoke to him. You had a chance to speak to Edward James Olmos this week. So that was really pretty cool. Some DVD reviews. Yeah, really cool stuff. So MediaMikes.com. Feel free to check it out and like it. You keep up to date on all that. And as always, I appreciate your time, Mike.
Always my pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you.